Remember, you were asked to not kill them too much. I'm not saying that's what you have to do. I'm just saying that's what you were asked. Also, we are recording.
So, right, I'm the one who has to do the intro. Hi, this is Beth, and welcome to GURPS Wars, a GURPS Star Wars homebrew. And I've got Crash and Ellie and Eo, and we're doing the Sith Accountant Apprentices, or Apprentice Sith Accountants, or one of those. Nouns, or not nouns, adjectives. They shuffle. Throw them in a bag, pull them out. And what happened last time?
I moved a large amount of rock from point A to point B and point C to point D. That there were monsters in the way of the rock was of no consequence to the rock.
I found an exciting new way to get a body piercing. It's my second one.
We have a matching set. Although you seem to be healing yours pretty well.
Yes, well, one of the drawbacks of being me.
Well, the Tis species does apparently go in for all kinds of little facial piercings and I guess body piercings probably. I feel like this is a not like that situation. Being shot at with arrows is, well.
Yes, well, one does rather wish it was more sanitary.
I believe
Indeed.
Sen cut a monster in half.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then it went sploot. And people have been obligingly putting large blood splotches on the map where the monsters have been actually disintegrating into their desiccated and or rotting parts.
That
Because
was
of
me logged
course
into the
they're
GM
built
account.
with-
I should probably log into that so I can keep doing that.
I suppose it's a reasonable thing.
Oh, and then we found the creature in Rufu's body. And, well, part of it anyway was delicious.
I don't think you licked it. You just, well, you did eat a piece of it. You ate some life force.
You know,
Yes.
people judge me for liking expired MREs. And then you say things like that.
Well, there is, after all, no accounting for taste. You eat expired MREs, I eat the life force of villainous creatures.
This is a conversation that
No
we are
comment.
having right now. Ancient being
Sen,
in the body of Rufu, what's your take on the subject?
Sen is going to continue moving towards the.
Did you leave the rifle being? I mean, you yanked it out of Rude's hand, but does Hosa basically still have it or have access to it, or did you take it away from everybody?
I'll let Hosa have it.
He's fumbling around trying to figure out how to point it off into the, well, darkness, actually, lit only slightly by the red glow of your saber.
You see an elf.
Good news, everyone. This crate is full of candles. We can just light them and, ooh, sparkly.
No.
What's the manufacturer? Dinamite. Must be Italian. Oh, yes, here's
Well,
the
what do
shipping
you
label.
think, Ren?
Hmm?
What do you think, Ren? Should we take our friend and go see what all the commotion is about?
I suppose we can. Being formally referred to as Rufu, do be a dear and come along quietly.
Where are you trying to take me?
Well, we don't want to leave you out of our sight, and we're going to go down the tunnel and see what all the commotion is about. And I made my telekinesis other roll by 8, so hopefully that does mean that Rufu is coming along quietly.
Give me just a moment. I'd like to make a roll about all this. As it happens, yes. Although it feels... Okay. You are a Sith. You probably, during your apprenticeship, have occasionally played telekinesis, try to shove somebody who is also a Sith. You know, especially when you were a young acolyte going through your apprenticeship trials, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, played. Yes, that is the verb. Mm-hmm.
Well, it tends to be considered, Siths will be Sith, acolytes will be acolytes. They have to squabble and sort out the hierarchy that they're in, blah, blah, blah.
Separate the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah, pretty much. And the chaff usually winds up kind of dead, but survival of the Sithist. There's a certain resistance that people who have their own telekinesis can do when you're trying to telekinesis them. And it feels like that's starting to happen when you're messing with Rufu. But he is not failing to be in your telekinetic grip and presumably floated along just barely not touching the floor or something.
Well,
So,
considering I can only fail a telekinesis other roll now if you give me a penalty or I crit fail. I'm not going to say I'm very confident, but the odds are in my favor for this. Dear listener, I leveled my telekinesis other roll up to 19 after last session. You might say, but 18 would be a crit fail. Why would you need to raise it higher? Because I could.
Well, the last time that you did a great big telekinetic thing, you dropped a whole bunch of rocks on top of the pit that the horrible creatures were coming out of, and you had, as I recall, a fairly steep penalty. I think you were working at about -10 or something. So you
I
had
made
to
it just fine and definitely used no fatigue whatsoever. You will not find any witnesses that say I used fatigue.
Right. There are no witnesses, and certainly no one can double click on your character sheet and see that you're down by 4 fatigue.
Hey, come back with a warrant.
I'm the GM. I have a warrant.
So yes, I guess we're going down the tunnel.
Okay, I will follow along. Antuxa? Antuxa has failed meditate by 1.
I like how meditate is renamed seethe.
That's one of the Star Wars: The Old Republic MMO.
It's the Darth Maul pacing like a hyena.
Yes. Yes, that's that one. The other Sith class gets channel hatred, and they sort of stand there and go grrr with their fists out at and shoulders set at the world, if I recall correctly. But yes, Seethe paces back and forth, glowing red.
I just like how it's called seethe when it's meditation, and seething is, by non-Star Wars standards, the opposite of meditating. That's all.
For a Sith to meditate upon your hatred, you might be seething. So, Entux, are you going to stand there next to the horrible heart thing and work on meditating, or are you following along? Or also, unless you draw your own saber, the light is going south.
My microphone's been off. I am moving a couple feet away from the heart, and my microphone's been off. You didn't hear me say anything.
No? I'm sorry.
You go on ahead, dear. I'll catch up in a moment.
Don't take too long.
Even if I do follow, it's going to be at half speed because I'm at a quarter of my fatigue.
Yes, Ran is probably not being entirely peppy fatigue-wise.
I'm fit as a fiddle, if that fiddle has half health.
Yeah. And almost half fatigue.
You don't get a penalty until you get down to a quarter. So Rand's fine until he spends 4 more.
And I don't know what you mean. My fatigue is just fine. I definitely did not spend any. I definitely did not spend 4 points of fatigue to bring down the roof. Ooh.
Zen. Hosa is fumbling with the gun. Rude has run off. Let's see. Let me go look at the hexes here. And Tuxum makes a seethe by 4. Okay. It takes about a minute per fatigue that way, if that's all right, if I recall correctly. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
So
just
you're-
waiting behind for a little bit.
Okay. About 4 minutes.
I'm actually only going to wait about 2.
Okay,
But-
so I'm going to call that 2 that you get back when you.
Yeah,
Okay. Sen.
but in the meantime, other people are doing things.
Yes. It is Sen's turn.
Let's just haul this guy back to where he belongs.
Hosa mutters something in some combination of Zabrak and Rill that mostly sounds rude. And not, rude, disparaging. Not at you. It is clearly aimed either at the slug thrower in Hosa's hands or at Rude, the nickname for Rufu in Wade's body, who has run off into the darkness. What do you wish to be doing?
Wait,
if
what
anything?
ran off into the darkness?
The NPC. The
Which
NPC
NPC?
the one in Wade's body. You can
I
see
thought-
Hosa standing there.
I thought that's who Hosa was pointing the gun at.
He's trying to, but apparently Rude doesn't think that he's a good enough shot into the darkness. And
Okay, so
honestly,
I'm going
Hosa-
after him.
Okay,
Ooh, you can see him from there.
barely.
Well, they can fix that.
Good thing to have. That's true. Good thing for night vision, though.
We do happen to have somebody skilled in throwing lightsabers.
That's
or
true.
using telekinesis other. I mean, that also works.
Let's get back. Got too many things open. Or do you wish to make a double move with no attack?
Didn't I just do a thing?
I figure that since Rude ran off, that you get to do another if you wish, or have you rolled
This
something
is a
that I
new
haven't
turn.
seen? This is a new
Oh,
turn.
okay. In that case, yes, I'm going to try to grab him.
Teak
Made
other,
by-
made by 3.
At least slow him down.
I still don't get to
Let's-
see your rolls. Fascinating problem.
Hmm.
I mean, so long as the GM sees them, it's fine.
I'm seeing them. He is scrabbling at the rubble / wall that goes up ceiling to floor, and is hanging on there with both hands, but is not actually making any progress around it to break line of sight. Okay,
I
And
did not
took-
grasp that.
you stopped him, but
Okay,
you have not dragged him closer to you.
sorry, there's a lot of pollen.
War on pollen. Obviously, I should have set you people up against plant people or something and, throw pollen bombs, and then you could set them on fire or something and feel better. Bran, why don't you go ahead and do your move, and I presume you're not actually sprinting.
No, I'm walking calmly and collectively.
There's a pile of rubble over there. It sort of mutters and seethes to itself, and it's not as quiet as you would have thought it would be. It's as if something is under there that's cranky. The thing in Rufu's body looks over at it while floating by and goes, "Huh, that's impressive, I suppose. Might take a while to fix that."
It's a stopgap, I know. Oh, look who's up ahead. Hello, Wade.
There's
I have an empty shoulder with your name on it. Well, actually, your talon marks on it, but never mind about that.
Buzz. The Spulcher flaps and dances. Let's see. And Tux is still meditating. And Wade. Well, Rufu and Wade's body is clinging to stuff. Sen, I'm gonna go with this. Your go. I think while you're still hanging on, you probably don't want to be sprinting or anything.
Yeah, no, I'm not double moving. I'm going to try to drag. So I roll teak again?
Yeah, give me another teak roll if you're trying to drag. Made by 6. You certainly already have a handle on him. While he is still hanging on extremely well, your mental grasp is more. Where do you want to put him within 2 or 3 hexes of his current location? About there?
You can see that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm dragging him towards me.
Okay, about there. Okay, where then?
Yeah.
Okay. You pry him off the rubble that he was clinging to, and he scrabbles at everything that might possibly be in range, shouting, criffing magic aliens, snake heads.
You know, what would be really
I'll
good
get you,
is if Buck
Nance.
was on the other side of that corner that he was holding on to and just leaned forward and said, "Long live the king," and then smacked his hands.
Alas, you left Buck in a very different location, and Buck apparently is staying there.
That's for the best.
Possibly because it is. It really is. We're not going to do a reenaction of The Lion King here.
Not even the part where you're like at the top of a cliff and then you just throw as hard as you can. I'm pretty sure that's
you'll
canon.
have to drag somebody up a cliff. No, not the yeet is never mind. Any free actions of talking, Sen?
I don't know. I don't think I have anything to say to him.
All right, that's fair. He is heaping somewhat incoherent abuse, seems to like to call people mittens, has said something that refers to turning your leku into leg warmers, maybe. It's a little incoherent. Host is going to stroll a little bit out of the bottleneck there. He is not even bothering to aim the weapon anymore, although he is trying to hold it in a reasonably... You hold this in towards you, and you point the other end at the ground.
Actually, I do have something to say to him. There's 3 bodies involved in this, you know. We don't have to put you back in yours.
This is not making him any more coherent with his raging insults and just you try it and he'll murder the lot of you, etc. And
I think I'm going to keep you in a bird cage.
I award Sen 1 point of inspiration. That means nothing in this game, and I'm not the GM. However, I award it anyway.
Hosa seems mildly about this statement. And Tuxa, still meditating?
You let me know when 2 minutes are up.
Okay, we'll do so. Just making sure that I want everyone to know that I have not forgotten that you are still there meditating in the darkness not next to, but in the same area as the giant, slow heartbeat of something that is not precisely part of this world. Ran, continue your stroll. The Spulcher is standing and squawking foos angrily and sort of dancing in place.
Yep. 5 more hexes closer to the Spulcher. Of course I am.
Okay, dragging. Okay.
I don't want to leave Rufu
You're
out of
not-
my sight.
Okay. Draggy drag.
Watching my step
That.
over the smears.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this one's still wet, and this one's still wet. Did we murder some creatures that have been made out of bird people?
Rufu is being floated over the squelchy bits and simply looks at them and goes, takes energy to summon those things, you know? You've been blowing them up and killing them, and that's
Well, it was
gunk on the
that or
ceiling.
let them kill us. And, oh yes, I forgot I'd done that. Well, they went and made
Of course
me
you
angry.
should have let them kill you. If they killed you, they could have dragged you back here and used the bits.
Oh, but my way was much more fun.
For you, I suppose.
Well, yes. It's all a matter of a point of view.
Fuzz. Fuzz.
Hello, Wade. I did not forget about you. I'm glad you're safe, relatively speaking.
Fuzz.
I don't think I have anything else I can do right now.
No. There is a miserable bird creature just sitting there. I mean, you could soak a bit of attention and levitate the bird if you wanted to, but
I think I will walk past the bird on my next turn and offer that he hop up.
reasonable. Cycle down. Hosa. To Sin. You want him in the bird body? I don't know if it will hold together without the cooperation of Ithashi.
I didn't say I cared if he lived.
Fair enough. Then, let's see, Antux is still meditating. I'll go up to the Wade. Yelling. Cannot do anything. Currently held. Can't do it. Good. So we're up to Sin. Sen, I've walked closer.
I would like to try to force him towards the tunnel.
You did make it by 6. Are you shoving him along with Arm and Teak, or are you just working on floating him?
A combination of shoving with Teak and having a lightsaber right here.
Let's see if he's smart enough not to cause a problem when there's a lightsaber right there. Let me just see if we got any. He does freeze if you are putting the lightsaber close to him. I'm going to say that since you've essentially won the contest by 3, you can float him at 3 hexes a turn.
All right.
And since he does not have a telekinetic ability to do much of anything. 1, 2, 3.
There we go.
Okay. Hosa is going to take a few steps that way, thanks. Fuss, says the sad avian. Ran, your turn.
All right. 1, 2,
Move your-
3 moves. Hop on up, Wade.
Let's give a... Wade hunkers down, Wade Bird, hunkers down and looks like an offended, sad, wet, has been left out in the rain, hates you all, something. Horrible, misshapen bird.
Oh, I can't stay mad at you. I
They're
attempt to pick
sulking.
Wade up and put Wade on my shoulder.
Give me a dex roll. Unless you're doing this with Teak.
Well, I'm currently holding on to Rufu with Teak.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible to split your attention. You could
I'd
do
rather
both.
not.
There will just... yeah. You'd rather not take the penalties. Made your dex by 2. Okay. There's a lot of flapping, and it's very awkward. And Wade Bird is one of those... Gesundheit.
Gesundheit.
This
You okay?
feathers. Wait. No, remember, we told you you were safe on my shoulder.
It's not a trying to hurt you thing. It's just no, I'm being picked up. Oh no.
Way to sock it.
And then
Understood.
Yes. And you can
Incredibly sad that not being held, but incredibly upset that being picked up.
Yes. You can get Wade onto your shoulder, Wade Bird on your shoulder, where he clings and sort of half-heartedly bites the side of your head. Not for damage, but for how dare you? You have picked me up. How dare you?
Yes. You can be very mad at me all you want.
Fuzz. Rotates head to glare at the floating Rufu. Well, Rufu creature.
I'm sure you've done some very bad things. So have I. But I don't think what you've done led to you deserving this. Let's see what happens next. Oh, and that was only 3 move, so 4 or 5.
Okay.
Now I'm done.
Dragging people along after. And Tuxa gets to... let me do a couple of rolls. Let me just double check what the guidelines are on that. Time it. 1D prepare. 3 passes, so it's 3d6. Okay. Quick. This is the GM rolling. Okay, so that's pretty low. Okay. Just double check that I am reading something correctly, since I'm running off of the Crom's house rules here. Okay. We are still in the meditative bit, and I'm mostly running this on combat turns still so that I can keep track of what's going on. Sen, where are you going to shove your target to? I didn't see a ping if you did that.
I did.
All right, do it again. Okay.
I am just going to continue to shove him towards the tunnel.
All right. And Tuxa is meditating. You can hear faint Foos cries and flaps down the tunnel. You can hear Rand's voice. You probably aren't getting a lot of clarity with the voices bouncing off the walls, etc. You do hear whispers, Antuxa, as if something is trying to contact your mind. But never mind that.
Okay.
Ran,
Darling,
you have...
do you mind? I'm trying to meditate.
Rand
Something
fights the
prowls.
temptation to get on the comm and say, Antuxa, are you meditating? Are you meditating now?
Are you meditating?
Are you meditating
Are you
now?
meditating? Are you
Are you meditating
meditating?
now? I do not
Are we
do
there
this.
yet?
Rand does not do this. But there is a temptation. And you said I heard a growl.
The growling is mostly from Antuxa. The rocks that you passed were settling in ways that are concerning. Rufu is muttering to himself. Well, thing in Rufu's body is muttering. You've got a spulcher occasionally sort of chewing on the side of your head.
I mean, that's where the hat is
griping
also.
Foos there. Yeah, the hat is getting bumped around because the spulcher wants to chew on your head, not the hat.
The hat had air quotes around the word hat when I got it.
Yeah, well, it's being shoved around.
Oddly enough, it now
At least-
matches the outfit. It didn't when I first got it.
But since then, you've been sliced at and shot at, and some of that connected. And where would you like to go? I will probably drop out of combat soon.
One,
Once at least two of you. Mhm.
Oh, hello. I have Rufu's body here and our good friend Wade. Shall we convene at the large beating heart thing at the end of the tunnel?
Sen?
Let's do that.
Oh, mind the pit of Nope. Yes, it was buried in rubble, but the rubble doesn't seem to have settled down with its settling yet. Something under there wants out.
Great.
I am going to turn around and start going back the way I came, but I'm not going to go at full speed because I want Sen to be able to catch up.
Okay. Sen does appear to be going at 3 hex speed up the tunnel. Hosa will be following. Go ahead and move characters as you wish. I will pause everything if something happens.
Well, the next place something might
trying-
happen would be here. And yes, I am taking...
Probably.
Yeah. I am not saying, okay, well, we did all this work. Time to let the Eldritch Horror go.
Are you
Now,
shoving
no more
Rufu in front of
shenaniganery, you.
Shoving in front or dragging behind?
In front.
Shoving in front.
All right, you're shoving your Rufu in front. You're shoving Wade in front.
Okay.
You're both
Yeah,
shoving your captives in front. Okay.
It's a parade. It's a parade of horrors.
Ran, give me a perception roll, Ran.
I'm good at those. Narrator voice.
Mm-hmm.
He's not necessarily good at those. I mean, I'm not bad at them, but I'm bad at that one.
By 4.
Yeah,
All right, that's
just
good.
missed it by
That's fine.
4. Just
Should I?
by 4.
Sen, what do you want?
Should I also be?
No, that one's for Ran.
Okay.
Okay, I am going to just shove. We're not in combat time anymore, so I'm going to shove this along and.
The GM is making hidden rolls.
Yes, the GM likes to make hidden rolls. They're fun.
They are fun, aren't they?
Yeah, I can just roll the dice and watch the pretty dice happen, and you know. And Took, so you're starting to be at the end of the couple minutes of fatigue recovery since
Okay.
people are strolling back and forth. And there is definitely a sense that you have the attention of something eldritch that is capable of trying to prod at your mind. Sen, go ahead and move yourself up the tunnel if you want. I'm going to Kool-Aid the NPCs through the walls here.
Okay. I will accidentally double click my character and pull up my character sheet, which I did not want to do.
Does get in the way, doesn't it? I love the meditation gifts that Ellie is finding. The rocks are indeed, that is, if that were a grave, it would be one of those unquiet ones, you know? It doesn't seem like anything's coming out quickly. Nothing as big is moving or shuddering, but there is something about all the rocks there, all rocks, that does not feel nice and permanent.
Somebody added milk to the Oops All Rocks.
Yeah, something like that. You really wish it felt more permanent. That would be more something reassuring. There, I'll just get rid of some of the dead gum cracks there that we're showing through.
All right, well, we can stare at the pile of rocks and wait for something to pop out, or we can go into here and collide with at least one wall.
Well, yes. And you're still shoving him along ahead of you. Is that about right for that? Okay.
Close enough for government
there.
work.
Then also shoving yours in front of you. Where do you want to be coming in? Flicker. Do I look like a highway? Am I a cat highway? Okay. Hosashi follows behind, giving many a dubious look at the rockfall. And the cat steps over the GM, walks across my stomach.
The GM has encountered a GM intrusion.
Yes, that certainly was an intrusion. Oof. How do cats get heavier? I mean, it's the
They shift
small
their
area
weight
of
to
their
just
paws.
one paw.
Yes. I think they store up gravity and, sort of expel it occasionally. Oof.
Yes, the theory of cat gravity.
The theory of cat gravity.
Or cavity, yes.
Cavity. Flicker, get your paw off the trackpad. Okay, I will shift my lap to accommodate the flicker. There. There you are. Are you happy now? Okay. Hopefully I won't have to type anything. Settle. And Tuxa, people have started wandering in, and you can continue to try to keep meditating, but it's been about, a couple minutes. People are strolling along with
I see you've returned.
Rude.
And you've brought friends.
Well, yes.
Rude is
We've come back more
hissing
constitutional.
imprecations. And Tuxa is not having post-combat shakes, having made the control roll by 6.
Yes. The other flaw that I have that or disadvantages, I suppose, that requires a control roll, and we have not encountered much, I'm afraid, this adventure.
That's true.
We were
There has not
talking
been
about
much
how
good to
things
eat.
taste recently.
Yes, we were. And I don't know about you, but I was being facetious. Anyway, so what are we all doing? How are we all feeling?
I think I need a change of clothing.
As do we all, my darling.
Yes, but first let's deal with a few others who need to change more than an outfit, shall we?
Let me go, you griffing alien associating. Let me go.
Which one of them is this?
That's
Rude.
rude.
Such language,
Griffo
and
is
there's
sort of
children present. I'm pointing at Wade when I say this.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even remember where I met you people, but you shouldn't be taking the side of the aliens.
You seem to misunderstand the history of this planet. We're all aliens here.
The thing in Rufu's
You
body holds up a hand
seem-
and sort of makes the point of order gesture, but doesn't say anything.
Okay. Yes. Understood. Most of us are aliens here. Is that better?
He nods.
Rufu, you seem to be under the impression that there's something you can say that will make a difference.
Humans ought to stick together.
Oh, I think there is something he can say that would make a difference. I mean, now that I think about it, he could say, why, yes, I will do everything you ask, and I am perfectly happy to be restored to my original body. And that would make things go ever so much more smoothly. I consider that making a difference anyway.
I deserve this one. That nephew of mine, why should he get to enjoy freedom and
Ran is laughing. Ran is guffawing. Not
I
two
deserve
breaths ago.
spa right now. We don't always get what we want.
Not 2 breaths ago, you said humans should stick together. Anyway,
he should have been willing.
To be a
willing
bird.
to sacrifice his youth for you. Hosa, what's our next step?
Depends. You want them moved in bodies, or simply he sidles past people and looks at. He's not going to get that close to them. Looks past everyone to the thing in Rufu's body and says something and makes a short bow in his Zabrak Rill conglomerate language there. You want things ended so esteemed Ashijith stops interfering in the day or put back or changed around.
You know, if there hadn't been so many attempts on our lives, I don't think I'd actually care. However, there were, and we haven't really discussed the matter, but bare minimum, I'd say so long as Wade gets his body back, I'm open to negotiation.
Well, now,
You will.
in fairness, I believe the bird creature had no part in this and should get its body back too.
I thought the bird creature was a construct.
Well, there are enough of them dead in the other room that I suspect that they're a native creature, but perhaps not.
Ashijith, which I'm going to start actually saying because with all the body swapping, we might as well just say what's the one in the body now.
Can we just call you Ashi? It would be so much easier.
It is what the Ashi clan named me.
Oh,
had
I'm so
forgotten
sorry.
my old
Jaith, then.
Shrug. Jith. Very well if you must shorten it. Looks
Well, you don't seem to be
far over.
part of the Ashi clan. I assumed you would want to dispense with that sort of name.
Ashijith raises a hand and wobbles it back and forth. We have bargains. It's why I came to help Hosa when he summoned me. And now I see he's back with regrets. I'm very disappointed. You can practically feel Hosa rolling his eyes at this. But to answer your question, continues Ashijith, the bird is not the native species. It's made out of pieces of sacrifice. Had to have somewhere to put that soul.
Well, in that case, let's let the clay return to the clay, and the darkness return to the darkness.
But I am enjoying being able to walk about and feel the sunlight. Can't you take pity on an old man?
Old you are. Man, I'm not so sure.
Look, I wouldn't mind if you hadn't been trying to do things to our brains and everyone's brains.
And ruining my
Wasn't-
perfectly good shirt.
I didn't do that.
By proxy, you did.
Can you at least stop creating the creatures in the pit?
Who? Me? Creating creatures? Would I do that?
Yes.
Yes.
I am being maligned. They simply happen sometimes.
Says the person
He
who
does sound
said
very
it takes
convincing.
energy to make them.
I didn't say it took deliberate energy.
Mhm.
Takes energy to go walking around. He's giving a very good impression that he might even be telling the truth, despite the fact that it seems very implausible.
Look, Ashija, I'm sure
Mhm.
that with enough discussion, we could come to some kind of understanding. After all,
Oh, yes.
most of us here are monsters. Most of our contentions are the fact that you decided that we were things to toy with. We don't like that. We take issue with that. And I don't squeeze with the intent to do damage, but I do like tighten the telekinesis other just a little bit as I say that to sort of emphasize it.
Give me a perception roll again at a +3.
If I can add 3 to this and then click on this button, it will do a thing. Made by 5.
Then you make it by 5. Nice. It feels very much like he has mostly slipped the telekinesis and is allowing you to carry him around now.
Oh, that's fine. We've entered the
You're not sure when that
negotiation
happened.
stage.
Enter the which stage?
The negotiation stage. It's the next
All
thing
right.
I do if we enter combat again is not going to be throwing him around. He's standing in a pile of rubble,
You're going to
which
take the rubble.
coincidentally if you draw a line from the pile of rubble to Ashija Ith to the heart, it would be a straight line. I would want Tuxa to take one step back. But otherwise, I don't see a problem here.
Fair enough.
And Tuxa is perfectly happy with Ran drawing and Shija Ith's attention. Ashija Ith's attention.
So, in my Monday after school game with my students, I introduced them to A again. And they recognized A immediately because I've been telling stories. And also, this was the second time they were encountering A. And I just had A come forward and say, excuse me, but my friends really don't like what you've been doing. And I'm the distraction. And I feel like this is relevant in this conversation. Look, could you, as a show of good faith, because you do seem to be somewhat apologetic right now, or at least the Sith equivalent of, obfuscating and denying, pretty much the same thing at this point. Swap the souls between that one over there and this one over here real quick, and then we can continue the rest of the discussion.
Do I keep this vessel? I kind of like it. I get tired in it. That's new. Dreaming, it's fascinating.
I'm not entirely opposed to that. But, again, show of good faith, let's put Wade back in Wade's body.
I'm not sure I want to make shows of faith when there's been so many hostile actions aimed in my direction.
You mean our acts of self-defense?
And Tuxa is subtly making a keep talking motion at Ran.
One moment while I talk to the cat.
Look, I understand. You have this new body of yours. You get to experience
The GM
things
is also
that
subtly making keep talking motions at Ran. Sorry.
You get to experience things that you truly enjoy. Unfortunately, you truly enjoyed, and I say the equivalent of kicking a hornet's nest that people in the Star Wars universe would understand. Kicking a spornet's nest, a space hornet's nest. And we're the spornets. And we haven't quite calmed down yet. But when you do kick a spornet's nest, you don't get mad at the spornets. You started it.
I didn't mean to cause any of you fine Force users a problem. You just sort of walked into things. Picked up a spray over there.
Walked into things, had a train blown out from under us, potato. I understand that misunderstandings happen and bygones can be bygones. But how about first we make sure to acknowledge that you keeping that body is on the table as an option. And
Useful option.
Wade gets his body back and then leaves. I don't think Wade needs to be a part of this anymore.
Oh, so they hunt us, both of them. You put that one back in his body, you take him with you, so he can no longer hurt us. He points at the sepulcher and...
I have a feeling that Wade has been through enough to consider a different line of work, especially if additional talking points come to light. You, Ashija Ith, like mayhem and death and gruesomeness.
Oh, yeah. There is that.
I might have some suggestions for you. Not things where you need to do them, not an obligation, mind you, but, pointing out directions where that mayhem might, beget additional mayhem.
I can think of quite a few places I could do some mayhem. I do have some ideas already, but I seem to have been run out of my very own brand new home, and I'm just a little bit put out by that, but I can go trekking back to it. There'd be no problem. So,
Especially with how fit you keep that body.
yes, isn't it grand? A little bit of
Why?
extra energy.
Why, with your ability to be out in the daytime and to run as fast as you want, I imagine you'd be able to follow that rail line all the way to, say, certain locales where there's some other beings who believe themselves to be the masters of this world.
Oh, I'd have to get a few friends with me. He smiles.
I
Wait,
do
and
believe
took
you are very good at making friends.
He smiles in a way that humans generally shouldn't. And Tux has made a psychometry roll by 4, looking into the history of the heart mentioned by the Ashi clan. Doesn't seem to be extant anymore. That's slight misunderstanding, but that's fine to, it's in character. Information on what the heart has seen. The heart has seen, it's new. It's both new and old. The fact that it is protruding here is new. It has been existing, and sometimes things come and converse with the part of it that thinks. The heart itself is not the thinking part. It is the heart part. It looks like a heart because it's a heart. It's just that it's not entirely a spiritual heart right now. It's a partly physical heart. Does that answer what you were seeking?
I think so.
Sen, do you have anything to be adding?
Sen's player is having difficulty audio processing.
Well, we have been playing for about an hour.
Why don't we take a break?
Yes, let's.
And we're back
Yes, we are.
after a 5-minute break that didn't
What-
last a whole week. Really, it didn't.
The 5-minute break was followed by a 5-minute break, which was followed by a 5-minute break, which was cut to.
So, cut to the group here. Oh, hey, we've got little dots next to people. That's new. Yeah, we updated Foundry in the middle of all this. Anyway, and Tuxa, you have psychometried a heart that has been there for a long time. Sometimes things have come and talked to the part of this that does the talking and the thinking. This is the heart. It does the heart thing. It's recently physical, and it's not entirely physical. And honestly, about now, you're probably remembering a lot of the things that your parents talked about regarding how being in the well, they were meaning heart metaphorically, heart of an entity's power is sometimes a bit dangerous. But anyway,
Indeed. Well, I'm not entirely sure what to do with this information, so
give me occultism.
okay.
I think you've got that.
Yes.
And you've missed it by 1. Something is sort of chewing at the back of your head about what there's something you feel like there's something here that you can't quite put your finger on that makes the heart a somewhat important key piece of everything. The less metaphorical heart. Maybe it'll come to you later. Ran has been attempting to convince Ashijith, the entity wearing Rufu like a body suit, that obviously he should take some of his friends and run down to the hut fortifications at the end of that railroad. And Sen, you're still just sort of levitating a Rufu in Wade's body, aka Rude,
Mm-hmm.
who has been hissing imprecations at you until you put a lightsaber to his throat, as I recall.
Yep.
All right. Hosa raises a hand in the, excuse me, I have something to say, polite, diffident fashion.
The floor recognizes Hosa Ashi. That's not what I say, but I do
You
look over in
could.
that direction.
I am not sure the negotiation, honored Ashijith, is in good faith on your part, honored Ashijith. Ashijith looks over and snorts and mutters something that probably includes the word whippersnapper in it, or some variant, and then looks over at Rand. Ignore him. He's just being a fuss budget.
Inwardly, Ran is thinking that Private Obvious just got a promotion to captain.
Yeah, probably.
You're not supposed to point that part out. Hosa Ashi does bring up a point, though. An action in good faith would do a lot to show that you are taking the negotiation in good faith.
Of course, I can give you some good faith. And why wouldn't I?
Because you like death, destruction, and misery.
Not my own.
Good point.
See? See? Death's inconvenient. Destruction is, well, it'd be inconvenient too. And misery, oh, misery. Boredom. You know how boring it is to be in a cave all the time with the deep, deep waters of the planet just sliding down under your non existent toes. You wouldn't put an old man back into that, would you? Hosa is nodding.
Depends on how long the old man stalls.
Me? Stall? Would
I look at
do a
my
thing like that?
whatever timepiece I have. I'm assuming I have something that is a chronometer of some degree. I take a brief look at it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've probably got a wrist comp. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Hosa, sorry, Ashijith makes wounded gestures.
Look, I'm growing a little tired of this. There are some huts that I want to make miserable. They're already miserable and complaining, but I'd love to tell them that their complaints are unfounded. They got what they paid for, and if possible, make things worse for them in the process. With that said, are you capable of putting Wade back in Wade's body so this person can experience what he did to Wade? I think that would be some wonderful misery for his part. After all, he wouldn't be getting his old body back. You're keeping that, aren't you?
Oh, that's my intention.
And only one person's arguing against that. Actually, I don't even think he's arguing against that. He'd rather keep that body and then kill all the alien scum or something like that. That is something you like to say a lot when you don't have a lightsaber to your throat.
He wouldn't like that body so much once I start taking bits off. What?
I'm gonna kill. Oh.
Rand didn't hear anything to disagree with.
Yes, just the silence.
Long silence. And in this long silence, Antuxa has made an occultism. Well, you are in the heart room, and while this does put you at some amount of let's just say that lair actions might be a thing. Also, this heart has been made physical. Enough damage to the physical heart would probably drive it and its spiritual things it's attached to back into the metaphysical. The There's a very reasonably high chance that if you take your lightsaber and start skewering the heart, it will not last. Therefore, the question becomes whether you care about putting Bird Wade back into his original body or what.
Okay. I'm going to take a moment to decide whether I do.
All right. Meanwhile, Bird says, "Puss." Hosa frowns thoughtfully at all of you in a Zabraki sort of way. Rude mutters rude things under his breath, directed a lot at Ran right now. Seems to be saying things about traitor to humankind.
Ran, you're taking my attention away.
Ran is supposed to be taking attention away, but not necessarily from Sen.
Not like that, TM.
Sen has decided to help by whining facetiously.
And remember, the only thing I refuse to edit out is where I talk about editing.
Oh no.
Puss. At least it's not facetiously.
You know, Sen, I'm beginning to think that whatever power this great and ancient being, the only native being we've found on the planet so far, had, he may have used it all up. Can't put them back in other bodies. It's a shame, really. I thought we could make some kind of bargain. Give him some wanton destruction, get some bodies switched over, have
Well, why
Uncle
don't I just
Rufu in a
do it?
cage.
Why don't I do some wanton destruction and then there'd be your pick of bodies. You line them all up and pick and choose which ones you want to keep, which ones you want to swap, what you want to do with them. Wouldn't that just be a lovely sort of thing?
If we wanted more stalling, absolutely. However, I don't think you can do it. Because you've been
Well,
doing nothing but stalling after I suggested it.
Who says that I want to do it just out of the goodness of my heart? Do I do anything out of the goodness of my heart? Hosa, lad, do I do anything out of the goodness of my heart?
Then explain to us how you are not a waste of our time. We have a budget to keep, and I like to keep it balanced.
I didn't say I couldn't. I just haven't seen why I should.
It's been
Rand, darling.
established. Yes?
My dear, would you show our friend what it feels like to be touched by a lightsaber? Not cut, just touched.
If you insist.
No, I mean him. The human body.
Ah, very well.
Not sure I'd do that if I were you.
I know what I would have done, and you didn't do it.
I don't give in for no good reason.
Yes, see, I'm trying to give you a good reason.
If
I
you
thought
want
I
to.
was bad cop.
We're Sith. There is no
That's
good
what
cop.
stands.
Foos!
You're definitely bad cop, darling. I'm merely extremely tired and sick of this cop.
And I'm possibly suffering from heat exhaustion and has no more patience, cop. That no one's disagreeing with me makes me feel a little awkward in the situation. However, I move my lightsaber so that it's getting closer and closer to not Rufu's beard.
That's gonna stink you burn it in. Human hair stinks.
It does.
I like the taste of expired MREs. I'll manage.
Expired MREs taste like burning hair?
I
Not
could tell you
that
stories.
Private GMs. Give me a telekinesis self roll.
Made it by one.
It feels rather like you have gotten into a trying to move your hand is not working.
Ah.
Like someone has grabbed it with their mind.
Counterpoint. I'd like to take a rock and chuck it at the heart.
All right. If you are still hanging on to the
I
floating.
I think it's established that I'm not actually holding on to him anymore. He slipped that grasp and was playing along quite a while ago.
Yeah, it's more. I mean, you've got him dangling there, but he's been letting you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But what he hasn't been making a decision on one way or the other is all this rubble that I've already discovered how to weaponize.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
So,
You're going to critically fail.
I'm going to critically fail. Oh my
With an
gosh.
18.
How?
Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm not sure, but I think that's my first critical failure in the game.
It's certainly a dramatic one. You, I presume, release him from your telekinetic grasp since you feel like it's been slipped anyway.
Yeah.
You attempt to put your mind on a rock to chuck it somewhere. The rock lifts up but does not get chucked anywhere, and in fact, all of the rocks around you are sort of floating, and you're not doing it. You feel something is rather oppressive about it to your own grasp on the force telekinetically.
Well,
You are going to be at some penalties to use it.
I can say that at least I'm no longer bored.
Well, neither am I. Now,
Are you two having fun?
Osaashi has his fingers pinched at the bridge of his nose and is doing a certain amount of the oh why.
Is this an outbreak of hostilities? Because if this is an outbreak of hostilities, I'd like to know.
Am I doing anything hostile yet? I mean, seems to me that you're all here, and here's a fascinating place to be, and I could use a little bit of, something to repair all my friends. You did suggest I should go and annoy some huts, and I did say I'd need some friends, and maybe I should keep you all. Wouldn't that be fun? You don't care about these people, do you, Hosa? Hosa points at Set. Oh, well. That's just what happens when you raise a bunch of people in a community that what's that word? Pack bonds. You Twi'leks pack bonds like anything. Much better than humans do. So, how about we not have the hostilities then? You're here. I'm here. What are you gonna give me for what you want? I can make mayhem on my own, you kids.
Inwardly, what Ran is thinking is, I can make distractions. I'm really hoping that somebody does a thing now.
Well, besides general mayhem, what are you asking for?
Oh, me? I want to make some friends. And I do want to visit all the little pockets of living energy on this planet that's got all those people. And some of those people, I think they'd welcome me. Isn't that right, Hosa? You're people. You've welcomed me, right? Hosa makes a sort of shakes head side to side in the it is clearly the okay wobble hand back and forth gesture. It's just more of a head gesture. There, you see? And the people who welcome me, they stay. And the people who don't welcome me, I make more friends. And then we go on to one of the other little pockets and we just keep doing that. And wouldn't that be grand? All these people, and I could teach them ways to put their energies towards making more friends. Entirely sure what y'all here can do to help that. I mean, you can help, I'm sure you could. But you've been making these rude threats. I
Well, of
suppose
course I've been threatening Rude. He's been insulting me.
you wretched, eel-headed,
See?
make you leg warmers.
Question.
Corrosive.
What would happen
Yeah?
if you simply ceased exerting effort in this particular area, would my friend here, and I point at Birdweight on my shoulder, have the strength to keep existing, or would there be too much soul and too little body?
Oh, he's. Nah, that thing's stable. Won't get any smarter. Ain't much brain in a carrion bird that's been dragged in. Stay about the same, I'd say. That was the last of the birds that got sacrificed, you see, to power the ritual. Which is another little aspect. You got anything for me? A little bit of life energy. You want me to do a swap? Then that's what it'd take.
Hmm.
I reckon your friend over there next to the heart knows how to transfer life energy around just a tad.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
glaring in Nantux's direction. Since you dragged hits out of life energy out of him,
You could say it's a hobby.
I think I'd say it's a bad habit. But I suppose you all have been talking to the wrong sorts of people. Hosa, didn't you tell them to be more respectful? Hosa shrugs.
Oh, my dear, this is me being respectful. If I were not being respectful, well, I might do something like this.
Daria. Ah, you have lit up your own saber.
Did you put it where I think you put it?
I think I did.
I like that you made it purple.
And what are you doing with your purple saber?
I am turning it on and back off again while it's pointed at the heart.
Ashijith narrows his eyes. Now that would just cut all our fun so short. And it wouldn't help your bird there.
That's very true. And I do think you have a problem because, well, there are three of us.
Mm.
And if you wanted to stop me from doing that and hold Ran back, you would have. If you could have.
I just don't like to spend energy I don't have to. But if you're gonna be
Of
like
course.
this, if you're gonna make me do a demonstration of strength,
I'm
is
not
that
making you do anything.
is that what you want? A
No,
demonstration of strength.
I want you to do what Ran asked you to do. That's all.
I'll need power.
Very well. Whose power would you like?
That's up to you people. Bring me a life. Maybe two.
An entire one.
Oh, well, that's depends on what the life is. Oh, you can bring me some animals. They're small lives. That's what I got for the first swap. That's what Hosa brought me.
Is this body life or soul life?
Oh, they're quite inextricable for most things. You know that.
I'm not sure I do.
Oh, I
Not my
said no.
area of
What, isn't it? You ain't never seen the how most people they've all stuck there in their bodies and pulling them free. You got to have something that nourishes the soul while you're picking it up in one hand and stuffing it into something else. Or I suppose it could take something from all of you and do that swap if you want.
I made a detect lies roll by 4.
Oh, by four. Okay. What are you
I
detecting lies on?
We keep waffling between two things. One, he's so powerful, he doesn't like to use power when he doesn't have to, but he's got the power. Also, he needs a life force because he's not strong enough to do this thing without more life force. So, which is it? Is he incredibly powerful or incredibly weak?
He is probably incredibly doesn't feel like spending any power on doing what you people want him to do.
Okay.
You made it by four. He doesn't sound like he's per se lying about needing power.
But if he can
Maybe
get power from us, all the better.
yeah. it's possible that it may be that he has power, but what he has is a resource management game going on with it.
That works. Counter proposal.
You did.
You have some degree of power, you have demonstrated and stated repeatedly. So use some of that before we take it from you.
Oh. Don't think you can take it from me.
You told me
You
I'd
can
have to
kill-
roll a penalty for telekinesis other. What is the penalty?
-5.
I'm going to throw a rock at the heart. Made it by 2.
Okay. The rocks are currently the ones that can float mostly are. So this is going to be a contest of whose rock is this?
Your rolls are public, by the way.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
nuisance. I have it set to private. Default, public, default, private. Let me just try this again.
It also said
Just
you were rolling as
try-
Rufu. Oh, I see that
Yeah.
you made a fright check.
Yeah, I made a fright check because apparently private GM roll is not actually showing as private GM roll. Okay, let's try blind GM roll. I should be able to do that.
Well, Crash seems to be able to roll privately.
Crash.
I changed the text box thing from public roll to private roll.
And while I
There
can
we
see
go.
it is changed. Okay,
That was a private roll.
works. Okay, let's see if this is a private GM roll.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a private GM roll, and then select it. Let's see if this works here.
That was a public roll.
If I click on it via the character, then it's public. If I just roll the dice from the selection, that's not how it used to work, and I think that's a bug. I don't know who to report the bug to.
Yeah.
Brad, why do you even want that Wade to be a Wade again?
If I wanted everyone dead because they were a bad person, I'd want us dead too. Wade's the only one that I haven't heard say horrible, horrible things.
All he says is foos.
Yes, and I feel like he should be given a chance to condemn himself in actual words.
Foos.
And Tuxa,
It's difficult to offend if you can only say the one word that isn't a actual word.
it could be profanity in someone's language, but just not here.
Well, that's true, I suppose. You never can tell with all these galactic languages.
And Tuxa, I do seem to be keeping our friend here busy just a tad. Would you mind collecting some interest payments?
Oh, not at all. Now, how painful would you like those payments to be? I can be very persuasive.
Well, he's a little recalcitrant, so let's start low and work our way up.
So
All
we're
right.
not hearing him out.
We heard him say things repeatedly. We weren't really getting anywhere. And threatening to turn me into a horrible monster when I already am one. Not exactly
I
an
do
endearing
think
trait.
that.
You did.
Who, me?
You offered to make me
I
into one of
just-
your friends.
Oh, that. I mean, not you personally. You
Mm-hmm. And Tuxa?
don't precisely know what would happen. Wouldn't that be fascinating, though?
I am
I don't.
fascinated to learn what happens next. Yes, but not from your actions.
And Tuxa has made a hearing roll.
I know it's very dark in this cave, but Hosa, darling, I know where you are.
Indeed, says Hosa, who's been wandering around the side. No, I don't want to pass the. Oops. Walking around. That's all.
Ah,
Hosa,
well, fair play then.
Hmm?
this Shkata shot you in the leg, right?
Yes.
Great. And Sonone is fed up with spending all of their time holding this guy.
Are you going to stab somebody in the leg?
I am going to stab him in the leg.
-2
Aim
to hit
shot.
left leg, made it by 2.
Let's see. I think that a dodge is probably warranted.
A dodge while being held still by the force.
Missed
Well,
by
he
one
didn't
anyway.
do a good job.
How much damage are you doing to the leg Is it thrusting damage or is it cutting damage? Are you poking a hole or are you cutting
It's
it off?
burn damage.
Yes, but are you going to poke? Are you going to poke a hole or are you going to cut it off? Is the question. What kind of blow through am I seeing here?
I want him to not be able to walk. Aside from that, I'm not actually trying to delimb him. I'm just trying to make it so that he can't get away.
And you managed to do 6 points of damage. 6 points to a limb.
That's impressive on 46.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 of those were ones.
1311.
Success. No, wait. Crit success. No, wait, not like that.
In D&D, you at least double the dice. In Cypher System, I think you added 4.
Let's see. He screams and clutches at the hole in. Did you make him have a lightsaber to the knee?
Mm.
I see. He used to be an adventurer, and then he took a lightsaber to the knee. He shrieks and clutches and says a lot of things that are not appropriate for the recording.
And now I am going to drop him on the ground.
He sprawls, clutches at his leg, and vaguely tries to kick at you with the other one, which I suspect he is not going to be doing a good job of, and I am going to have to roll it like that. That's an interesting question. Would that actually hit?
There. Perfectly fixable body, not going to run away.
That kick actually would potentially connect if you do not care to dodge or something with his good leg. It's more of a flail, but
Yeah, I want to dodge. Let me figure out where that is.
you have to open up the sheet to the side. It hides the
I
dodge
did.
behind encumbrance.
Oh.
Encumbrance, move, and dodge. You have to open it way out to the side. It's a pain in the. Made it by 3. Yeah. You give a little hop.
I'm just wanted to see if I could press the dodge button.
You did. The
I
dodge
did.
button is pressable.
I did not have to move my sheet out. It was just there.
Your sheet may be in a larger state by
I
default.
may have zoomed out in my browser window to 67%.
That could do it.
There. Anyway, no more impediment right now.
Just some yelling and shrieking and complaining and saying things like "kill you all" and "alien scum" and the usual. You've heard it before.
Yeah.
Why'd you have to hit him in the knee instead of the mouth? Now he won't shut up even more.
Because cutting
Yes, but
off someone's tongue with a lightsaber is difficult, and you seem to want that body to put the bird in.
I mean,
also, I can heal knee wounds, but dentistry is beyond me, darling.
yes, that is a different insurer. Why is it a different insurer? Someone told me once, and I've totally forgotten. Anyway.
I've never understood it. So, Hosa,
Hosa has stepped over to stand next to Antuxa, who is standing next to the giant
The heart.
thing. The heart. Hosa is contemplating the heart.
how do you feel if this should proceed? We haven't really heard an opinion from you on this.
Esteemed Ashija'ith is bargains. We have made bargains in the past. We would make bargains in the future. Bargains are best made, esteemed Ashija'ith, between equals. We have been slaves before. It does not appeal. Hosa prods the heart gently with one foot. If you wish the spirits changed again, a sacrifice would be made. It is a bargain. He makes bargains, but they must be bargains.
Ah, it's that kind of business.
If you do not care what happens to the souls, then he prods the heart again. Ashija'ith says, "Oh, why do you have to tell them so many things? Haven't we done enough favors, you and your people and me go around telling people everything.
Well,
I'd
I,
let
for one,
you.
appreciate it. I
Uh,
adore knowing things.
I could tell you so many interesting things if you lot just stop being so hostile to me.
You tried to
It's
kill
a
us
fight.
several times before you even met us.
I did not. I did no such thing. And if I did, it wasn't personal.
Yes, well,
It was my friends.
forgive us for taking it personally.
It was my friends, and you have deprived.
It was an affront on us, and we feel like we are indebted to return the favor.
Not sure that's how it works, my lad.
I'm an accountant. We are trained in adjusting the numbers. If that's not how it works, we make it work.
I did not know that you were that accountants wandered around with those laser swords.
We're very talented
Really?
accountants.
Ugh.
Well, who
Oh,
else
this is-
is going to make Sith pay taxes?
I just point a finger at Sen as if to say, yeah, what they said.
Oh, taxes. Who needs taxes?
Governments.
Well, isn't it a good thing I don't want to be a government? I just want people to pay their respects. But Hos is right. And for the sake of the Ashi clan, who has made many bargains, find me the life energy or the lives, and I will switch back these little problems here. Well, switch one into the bird anyway. I'll even throw in a release on the life energy of the one.
What would happen to
Anything?
it?
It wouldn't feed me.
I mean, I don't think feeding you, Rufu, is a terrible idea if you don't eat the body that apparently Ran wants.
If I swap over the one who was in that body before, points at Wade/Rude, who is lying on the ground and gritting his teeth and generally acting like someone who does not have high pain threshold, unlike most of the other NPCs you've been fighting. If I put that one's soul and body back together, then I'll release it from my hold. It'd be too much fuss to hang on to anyway.
You know, that comment I made about adjusting the numbers to balance books, it jogged something in my memory. You weren't supposed to have that body. You decided you wanted it. You took it. You made a different vessel for Wade here. But that
No
wasn't
one cared.
the deal.
No one cared what happened to that one. Hosa didn't make any.
I'm going to try to
requests
throw
on
another
that
rock. Is
side.
it still at -5?
It's still at -5, and you will have to succeed against all the rocks that are still hovering.
Made it by 6.
Okay.
His turn.
Oops. Wrong one anyway there. Made it by. Okay. Where do you want to chuck the rock?
At the heart.
Okay. How hard do you want to chuck the rock?
As hard as I can. I am using my rage to set me free. And possibly Wade.
I will give you a 1d -1 on that, I think. There is resistance. It is not enough for you.
I'm not trying to
magic
kill. I'm trying to
break.
prove a point, and I prove it by doing 0 damage because I rolled a 1.
Huh.
So apparently I'm just proving that I can throw a rock. Go me. As I toss it, I say, I care. I'm not quite sure why I care, but I do care.
Then bring me a life. and
I
I'll
bring
put-
you yours
Oh, that's not how it works. Host
in
is
exchange for
telling me
trying to take mine and Sen's and Entux's and
I
hiding
didn't
behind
do that.
proxies that you
Oh.
created.
Never meant for them to be going after you lot. I meant for them to be going after Wade there and his people.
Mm-hmm. So you made a mistake. Correct the mistake.
Well, I can't make the train go back together. I don't have power over trains. Not yet.
I feel like that raises some metaphysical that yet raises some Never mind, I'm not asking those questions.
I might talk to you, young Twi'lek.
You'll talk to anyone if you see something you can benefit from it.
Oh, well, there is that. But I have a soft spot in my heart. Presses hand to chest.
Yeah, that's not the
Waves
heart that
other
we're all
hand
thinking
to
of.
the other. Waves the other hand in the direction of the giant heart. Soft spot for Twi'leks in my heart. After all, they came to me in the darkness and made offerings and brought me back to understanding again and not just sleeping. The power I have is in not stasis, equilibrium already. Changing the equilibrium needs more energy. You going to give that energy to me direct, or are you going to bring me a sacrifice? You got one out the front there.
You're referring to Buck.
But I suppose you want to keep that one too. What are you doing, collecting humans?
He does like collecting things.
Ugh.
For some
Well,
reason, I believe in second chances.
and you're still being such a Sith about it. Sorry, yeah, I know I'm a Sith now, but like,
I didn't say second chances for me.
no, you said second chances by intimidation. How much life energy do you need?
Oh, 2, 3 birds, about the size of that one. Gestures at the Wade bird. One of the scavenger critters. One of them great big bugs would probably do it. Those things have energy in them more than they should. Pull your own energies together, and I could take a third from each of you, and that'd be enough.
As someone who's already at half, I have zero interest in that.
Well, there is that. Hosa sighs. Hosa is not volunteering, though. No one has asked Hosa to volunteer. He is not volunteering.
I would not ask hosts to volunteer.
Ran,
I'm all ears.
you're my friend, and that is the only reason I am offering this.
Do not offer that.
Sen is also down a lot.
I'm saying that I will contribute to this, but that means you also do. Stop trying to get everything for nothing just because you're mad about it.
Wade, darling, would you come here?
The temptation to go out of
Oops.
character and whine about things is so strong. But that would be out of character.
Sorry.
Yeah, the PCs, the player characters are arguing. Yay! Sorry.
Yes, all the way,
Us?
please.
Fuzz.
Go on. It's okay.
She offers her arm.
Extremely gingerly, the Spulcher inches down Rand's arm and sort of, ooches down Rand's arm. At least, hopefully Rand is going to hold his arm up so that it doesn't fall down, because it's not a light little bird. Oops. And it sort of extends one claw, talon, foot, and waves it towards Antux's arm.
Oh my gosh, it's like a cat reaching out.
The Spulcher will fairly hesitantly sit on Antux's arm if pretty much assisted there. Fuss.
Okay. I have been telling you this entire time I didn't want to hurt you.
Fuss. You're taking the bird over to...
Yes, because I'm going to try something really, really foolish.
Okay.
I mean, I've been arguing with an Eldritch Horror, so... Actually, I've been throwing rocks at an Eldritch Horror.
You tried to squish the Eldritch Horror with your mind.
I did that,
No.
yes. I did do that.
Antuxa, you are next to the Wade body,
Yes.
and you have the Wade bird. You are
I
being
will-
called a filthy alien, by the way.
Yes,
That's new.
that's par
You
for the
aren't you?
course. I hate you too.
Fuss. Fuss.
And Tuxa, with ungloved hand, reaches down and touches the Wade body.
Mhm.
And with bare skin, with the Wade bird perched on her bare skin.
Psychometry made by one. This is definitely, you have both of them there. You can compare. There is a link from the bird to the body that is not reciprocal in that sense. The bird was pulled out of the body is what your metaphysical senses would
Right.
go. Okay.
And I'm trying to maintain that connection because so many of these force abilities
Mm-hmm.
are based on the direction and redirection of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see if I can use that connection to essentially do what Ashija was insisting that it would cost a lot of energy to do.
Give me.
I have no idea what I'm going to be rolling here.
Yeah.
First
Give
aid.
me an
For all I know, this is an
roll
IQ roll.
to grasp the shape. Oh, made by 5. That's good. You can grasp the shape of what was done.
Okay.
It does take a lot of energy. The moving of the souls around is one thing, the making them actually stick is another. Even though that one in the bird used to go in the body, this is something that would take items of power or ritual preparations to do normally. You know, the ability to futz with things like this is not something that you're going to manage
On my own.
on your own. And it would probably take a lot more fatigue than you currently have and probably some hit points as well.
Yeah, okay.
You can see the shape of it. You can see a bit what was probably done. And if you psychometry them both harder, you might be able to even understand what the entity was doing. But to hold souls together and put them into different bodies and not have them come unraveled and dissolve into the force is not easy.
I'm going to try psychometry one more time then.
Okay.
Made it by 9.
You have the force patterns in your mind. You feel what was done in the force. You could probably, with occultism there, come up with a ritual, but it might take a few, made by 2. It would probably take you most of a week to come up with the ritual circles and the anchoring, etc., etc. And you
Okay.
would still need the power.
Yeah.
You probably would need sacrifices, animal or sapien, and possibly more than the entity did, because it is an eldritch entity of deep force. And we are at over an hour. I suppose we should either take a break or do an end off, since we had another hour before.
I would like to keep going, but
Up to other
up to
people.
you guys.
I can keep going, but I would like to take a short break if possible.
Yeah.
I would like
Let's
to
grab
keep
a-
going, but I would also like to take a short break first.
Let us take another break.
All right.
Yep.
And that's when I said, no, not coffee. I said I wanted Jawa.
No, Zisha said she wanted a paddleboard, not a Padawan.
You people are
Darlings, the red light's on. Places everybody. Do you all have your props?
Look, there was a red gummy bear in with the others today. I can't work under these conditions. But we're on? We're on. Right. Right. Okay.
We're in the Empire. All of the gummy bears are red.
Except for the ones that are black.
Those taste like licorice.
And no one wants that.
I want that.
You get all of
The player honestly enjoys the taste of black licorice.
You may have my share.
I will take it gladly. And candy corn.
Don't mind a little candy corn.
There is
Anyway.
an upper limit to how much candy corn one can have, but mine is not 0, unlike what many people believe.
Before the break, Antuxa is trying to use psychometry to um, reverse engineer an ancient, kind of forbidden ritual. Well, it's not that ancient, obviously. An ancient entity did it, so probably rather forbidden ritual to swap a body between, swap souls between bodies. She thinks she might be able to do it. It would take more power than she has in her own little body, and she would need to in make a ritual circle, possibly items and things that hold the pieces of it together in ways that a mere mortal mind generally can't.
I will have to make a mental note to create this ritual for myself and then hide the pieces of it on prominent planet throughout the galaxy.
Indeed, probably encoded into certain types of jewelry.
Yes.
I feel like you're referencing a specific quest from a video game.
This would be the
Think
Inquisitor
about
plot
how
from Switor.
confused Zash will be when there's two of them.
Yes, there are like four. How many pieces in it? Is it four? 4 pieces or 5 pieces?
5 ones in the Dark Temple.
Right. Yeah. No, there's 10 pieces, but they don't match. Yes, we are in fact referring to a specific thing in the Star Wars: The Old Republic online MMO that is part of the Sith Inquisitor plotline. I mean, if you people really want to try to start that off early, sure. That never mind. And Tuxa, you have this in your head, and you get to decide what to do with it.
Well, dears, it seems that despite everything, and CJF is telling the truth about this. It does require quite a bit of power.
Now you see.
And, well, I wouldn't want to give it all up myself, but I suppose I could be persuaded to contribute if we have your solemn word that you will not attempt to harm us as we leave or in the future, and that Wade is left alone.
Now, that might be a bit of extra on the not harming people in the future. One never knows what the future might bring. Why, look at this. There's Hosa back there prodding at my heart. Like some little child with a stick. Hosa, put that down. Hosa
Yes,
does not put
Hosa,
down the stick.
how did your people make bargains with this thing before it popped up into the open?
A ritual. There is
Ah,
a ritual to bargain, to lay the request, the answer, the channels, like channels of water. There is a ritual.
well then, here's the bargain. You do this for us. We give you the life force to do this, and you do this for us. Transfer the souls of these two, people, I suppose,
Mm-hmm.
into the into each other's bodies, and don't hurt any of us on our way out. And in return, we won't make Hosa and his clan resort to those old rituals anymore.
Hosa. Oh no, there will be the rituals resorted to. They are tradition.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah. Well, if you'll leave me to dig my friends out after you dropped a ceiling on them, and you bring me enough life force to do the swap, I can do that for you. I'll
oh
even
yes.
make it as a. I'll even agree to the ritual that I'm sure Hosa can draw that up with that stick there.
Where did Hosa get that stick from?
It is entirely unclear, but somehow he has a stick. It's not a
Somehow
long.
the stick returned.
It's not a big thick stick. It's not some branch of something. It's a fairly thin, spindly one. Maybe it came off of a cactus.
Everyone needs a good poking stick.
It's a good poking stick. Probably he had it on him. It's not too long. It could have been in a pocket. Osa is in fact sighing and crouching down and starting to draw diagrams in the dirt of the cave that you're in. All of the rocks around you are settling down, although they still feel kind of like something else has its attention on them. Rude is quieted down and is watching everyone hatefully. The Spulcher is muttering foos and glaring at Ashijith. So, what are people doing?
I'm meditating.
You are meditating. Okay.
Zen is standing watch if there's going to be an actual outbreak of hostilities from, anyone. They can't really heal themselves, so they're just gonna.
How much time do we have?
The drawing is going fairly swiftly. Ashijith has gone to sort of, go put his hands on his knees and watch as Hosa draws. You probably have at least 5 or 10 minutes because
Okay.
there's a certain amount of power being put into the thing, blah, 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 etc. There are snide comments going back and forth between the Zabrak and the Eldritch Abomination. Ran had a successful meditate that would get back 3 in 3 minutes, and then a failed one. And Tuxa has healing other by 8. You could heal up to 8. Let me double check. Someone's comm goes off. Sorry.
I actually am going to meditate first and then use that roll.
Okay, that is fair.
2 fatigue back, and then I will spend 4 to give Sen 2 health back.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see if I can meditate some more. No, I can't.
When everyone looks like they are done meditating or are fidgeting too much to be meditating, Hosa says, come put energy and ritual to be bound by, what is word in basic? Contract. Bargain.
All right.
Drop of blood, bit of energy.
Very well.
Does it have to be my blood?
Although this,
Just joking.
Yes. Fuzz! Let's see. How long have you people been meditating? Let me quickly look at something. I believe you get back a fatigue every 5 minutes anyway.
oh, okay.
But that's what's being asked for is a drop of blood and a point of fatigue.
All right. Well, I'll let that last meditation roll just let my fatigue stand where it is then.
Okay. Yes, everyone can just assume that the one that you have gotten back naturally is the one that you get to put into it.
You said every 5 minutes we get back a fatigue naturally?
I think that's what it is. I am going to
Because we were arguing for a
double-check.
full hour.
You were. You get the fatigue back if you're resting. I don't know if arguing counts as resting or not. I mean, you can
we
make
are
a case
Sith.
that it
We
does.
are Sith.
What? Had to find the right teeny tiny little frickin' icon. Griffing icon. What am I looking?
But if the arguing doesn't count as being rested, that will bring me down to 8 fatigue instead of 9.
Mhm.
So I'm not arguing very hard that I should be at 9 after giving up 1 fatigue.
Just double check. Thingy.
Not
What's it mean?
thingy.
A thingy. Dun dun dun. All right, you've got a whole bunch of little bennies off just being force users. I forgot those bennies. I need to write those bennies down a lot better and open up command thing. No. I thought I knew the answer, and then I suddenly start second guessing myself, which is always bad because it's like, oh, I'm sure it's this one. No, wait, what if I'm wrong?
I thought I had an answer, and it turns out I just have more questions.
These things, they happen. Okay, fatigue. Recovery. Yes, that's what I want is recovery. That's recovery of hit points, fatigue costs, overexertion, missed sleep, recovering from fatigue. Yeah, resting quietly, reading, talking, thinking are all right, walking around. Yes, normally most people get lost fatigue at 1 per 10 minutes of rest. You have Your force users, you have an advantage that lets you do that um, basically twice as fast, so 1 per 5 minutes. I think that intensely guarding people, etc., is possibly a fatigue on the 10-minute bit, which, you know what? Most of that arguing was, in fact, in real time fairly much. So if you want to get back 1 fatigue per 10 minutes of real time there, sure. You can be back at full fatigue, most of you.
Well, no, we can't because we're all spending 1 on this.
Okay, yeah, aside from that point. Before that. Game time and talking's a free action, so that means that talking takes no time, so that means you don't get fatigue back, right?
It means this all took place in 6 seconds. Oh wait, no, this is GURPS. 1 second.
Yes. Something like
Someone
that.
was holding on the double fast forward button.
As you are going and putting in a drop of blood that has to be yours, yes, and a point of fatigue, Ashija is standing there glowering at everyone with the aura of something that was having a why are you all like this? Why are you people all like this? He would like to know. You are all ruining his fun. This is so annoying. Why are you like this? PM.
Did we mention we're accountants?
Ugh. I hate accountants. I ain't met accountants before, but I think I hate you all now.
That's what most people say about accountants.
Yes, that's pretty much par for the course.
I don't see why, darling. We make sure that the bargain is fair. You can't take advantage of them, but they can't take advantage of you.
Gonna want life force, like I said.
Yes, of course. What do you
And
say? 3 hits from each of us?
he eyes everyone very thoughtfully, contemplatively. I won't kill any of you.
Well,
All
that's reassuring.
Or put us in someone
Altogether-
else's body. Or a constructed body.
No, I don't want to do that. Enough of a problem as it is. Don't care to bind my life force to yours.
Well, you're no fun.
That's what I've been saying to you lot.
I'm lots of fun, but the Dark Lord is much less fun and would not be happy with me if we went off to murder huts. I have to not be involved in the hut murdering if it happens.
Plausible deniability and all that.
Mm.
At least until after the check clears, I guess.
I won't kill any of you. Some of you are a little bit battered. So, you might be a little more battered after this. Or you can pause there and bring me something and we can get on with it later. You could bring me a whole hut. Those are big. They're big slug things, right?
Strong am I with the Force, but that's a lot to telekinesis other.
At least if you're dragging it across the desert.
By the time I got here, there'd be less hut.
Also, yeah, it'd be all shriveled.
And less life force. Really, the only win would be 1 less hut.
Both Chardonnay wouldn't be happy.
Darth Chardonnay got the money. He doesn't want to pay more money. If the hut
Yeah,
isn't
he
around to
also
do
doesn't
anything
want-
about it.
To be the reason that the cartels are ticked at the Empire.
I hate that you're the voice of reason here.
I also hate that I'm the voice of reason here.
I'm not sure how we got to where we are right now with this discussion. Anyway, how's this ritual
Look,
going?
I came here hoping that the Hutts would pull some sort of unreasonable stunt, like trying to dump us into one of their arenas or something, and then we'd have a good reason to kill a Hutt.
And then someone had to have the train blow up. Rand looks pointedly at the 4th wall.
Well, shall we get on with it then?
Gonna have to be enough between you all to account for the life force of the body that's gonna get fixed.
And there isn't a discount for having a hole in it.
No discounts for having a hole in it. I didn't put the hole there. You'll put the hole there.
It never hurts to ask.
Sometimes it can. Going to be even draw or take more from the ones who have more to give.
I suppose you could take up to half my life force. But as you can see, I'm only doing this with it.
You do keep getting it back. No stealing it back from me, though, this time. You got that?
Nope. My word is my bond.
Bring over the people.
Am I still operating at -5?
Health-wise? Yeah, health only comes back like
No,
one a day
telekinesis other.
normally. Oh,
I'm going to drag.
I think you are still operating at -5 in part because you got that critical failure.
Okay, fine. You can lift him.
You can drag if you want, Sen.
Sen,
It wasn't your
Sen
critical
goes over
failure.
to drag him, and I just like, whoop.
Oh, Sen versus Ashijith gestures, and what appear to be like ritual circle things sort of etch themselves in the dirt of the cave floor. And just to be annoying, I'm gonna draw a couple circles.
And this one is green, and this one is green, and this one is green.
They're actually blue. I think you can see the circles.
I can
Oh,
see
you're
a
no
tiny
fun.
little hint of blue, and aside from that, I see gray.
Yes, it's
Right,
because the cave is dark. If you get close to them, they're purple. Because I have a red
Yes.
lightsaber.
Yep.
It's color theory, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they look gray when you don't have a saber next to them. Put them there. Put them there.
They're all blue lightsabers. Therefore, Ashijith is using the light side of the Force.
No, that's the GM just not caring what color it was, and it turned out to be blue. I probably should make it gray. Anyway, I assume you are going to put them in the. You just made. At just making it, you can drag the fellow along slowly if you want to, with the telekinesis. Shall I assume everyone gets put into the circles?
I think that's a safe
Wade is
assumption.
fighting. Make a appropriate roll to grapple or drag. A strength roll or another. Someone else gets to add some TK. Because honestly, you probably need to knock him out or mind trick him or something, because he's going to try and mess up the circles.
Wade or Rufu? Or
Sorry,
Rude?
Rude.
Rude.
Well,
Listen
that's
to me carefully. This is what you have always wanted. You desire nothing more than this. And you will be happy for the rest of your life once this is done.
Let's see.
And you're not looking for any droids.
While he did in fact make a will roll, he did not make it by 4. He is lying quietly there trying to figure out what the criff is wrong. There's something wrong here. Everything is wrong. Ashijith goes and stands over them and says, "By the blood that's in the binding." And you all feel an extremely unpleasant sensation of hit points being drained. And Tuxa, can you take off 5? Rand takes off 3.
It's like I'm back in boot
And Sen
camp.
takes off 4. Yep, it's like you're back in boot camp. And Sen takes 4. Do you want me to do
Alright.
that? Okay.
There we go.
There are eldritch energies. You don't have to make a perception roll for this. The lack of light strobes and flickers in rather upsetting ways. There is a feel of things slithering about on your skin. There is the scent of clay in your nostrils. It's definitely what you would call an extremely dark ritual TM. The whatever's in Wade's body and whatever's in the Spulcher shriek and make horrible sounds as if this is extremely painful, and honestly, it probably is extremely painful. They thrash, but somehow do not manage to actually disrupt the markings that were etched into the dirt. And then finally, after a final rather appalling keening sound, they flop unconscious in the darkness. And everything fades away, leaving your skin feeling a bit like you're covered in clay that's flaking off.
I mean, I'm already covered in blood that's flaking off. I don't notice that much of a difference.
Yeah, it's like everywhere. It's in your underwear.
So is the sand, darling.
I was trying to not imagine that, but thank you. We have truly entered the Halloween episode. Also, is it bad that I'm reeling?
It does mean that you're not going to be walking more than like one hex at a time.
Rand, come here, darling. You're going to fall over.
You can't tell me
I
what
am
to...
healing.
Yes, you can.
I'm healing Rand for 2 hit points.
Oh no. I'm worse than reeling. I've become normal.
Dun, dun.
What fresh hell is this?
What, you're not the most normal one of us?
I don't really think we compare on any type of scale. Normal's over there. Like, way over there.
Well, is it complete then?
It should be. Check them out, see how it's all going.
I remember they don't get
All
to
right,
make
I'll-
any life-changing decisions for the next 24 hours, and they shouldn't go swimming for half an hour.
Yes, that's probably about right, honestly.
I'm going to crouch down and put my hand on what I hope is Wade's shoulder.
Okay. Who still has a rather messed up,
Everything.
yeah,
Knee.
But I imagine you specifically mean knee.
knee. Yes. I need to just open up something. Probable probably in Wade's body, is extremely unconscious at the moment.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is fair, but I'm using psychometry.
Ah, okay. How much you make it by? Well, I scroll
3.
something else. By 3. You were trying to determine if the soul is in the body?
Yeah.
As near as you can tell, yes.
Trust but verify.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Trust but verify.
All right. In that case, would one of you mind doing the honors of dragging poor Wade out of here? I think Rufu can probably find his own way out. He got himself into this. He can get himself out.
Yes, I think I'm going to have to be going off. He starts strolling off to the passage down at the southeast there. Gotta start digging out my pit.
Yes, terribly sorry about that, but to be fair, they were trying to kill us.
Yes. That's be bygones, be bygones.
I did say I believe in
goes-
second chances.
He goes walking off into the darkness to go contemplate the pit.
I have telekinesis othered by 2.
Okay.
Unconscious Wade.
All right. Success by 2, etc. What you are mostly doing is sort of heaving the unconscious Wade over your shoulder and making him light enough that this does not make you collapse.
Fine by me. I'm not trying for flair right now. I'm trying to get out of this force-forsaken cave.
Sen. As Antuxa and Ran head off, is anyone bothering to collect the spulcher, by the way? Or are you just leaving that there?
Well, I would, but also, I can barely collect me.
Hosa taps you on the shoulder before you go walking very far. The sword. Borrow, may I?
My lightsaber?
Mm.
Yeah, here.
He nods. He takes the saber and turns invisible.
And Tuxa, I do believe we need to hurry for some more plausible deniability.
Indeed.
Everyone is attempting to hasten their way out.
I will spend another 2 fatigue to give Sen 1 more hit point.
Thanks. That will make me not reeling.
I had hoped that was the case.
Are you taking your new pet with you now?
I think Hosa might want it.
Yes, we'll leave Bird Bufu, to, well,
To sleep in the
All
bed
right.
that he
whatever
made.
devices he likes.
Yes. If everyone holds still, I'm going to Kool-Aid you all to the front of the cave.
Oh, yeah.
That's fair.
If I
We
Okay, everybody hold still. Okay, I think I've collected you all. I'll put you all here for a moment.
Whee!
And then I will drag you up here. And then I will zoom
I am
in
outside the
and-
cave altogether and everyone else is invisible. There we go.
Yes. Now you are dragged safely in.
Ah, Buck.
Buck is there.
Good to see you. Got what we
You're-
came
you're
for.
back.
We're leaving.
Yes, sir. You look all pretty awful. That's Wade. You found Wade.
Yes.
He's okay?
he will be
Yes.
eventually.
He was a little possessed, but we fixed it.
It's a long story that I'd love to tell while we're all sitting down somewhere else.
Do we want Speeder?
Is it
I can
working?
try to drag it out.
I do
no.
believe the battery was dead.
Yeah.
I
Come.
think it's acceptable to leave it there.
Yes.
Okay.
We should loiter for a moment outside the cave, though, to make sure that Sen's lightsaber gets returned to them.
Sure. Everyone,
Just step
go
into the gray
outside.
void, please.
Yes, everyone step into the gray void.
As we exit the hollow suite.
Let's see. What's that? Just want to make a little thingy. Okay. I'm going to. No, I'm not going to do. Come on, move. I'm going to fight with things. Pardon me while I borrow your character feet slightly.
Mhm.
Well, that was 15 points of burn damage that we were witness to. Plausible deniability.
Mm-hmm. After a little bit, as you're sort of wandering out of everything, because hey, why not? Why not wander out of everything? Hosa, with the bird under his arm, comes pelting out of the cave, and everyone, no, you don't need to give me a perception roll. Just before he appears, there is a horrible screaming in the force emanating from the darkness.
I think we should run.
There's a feeling as of things being sucked down into the cave. There's a wind that is blowing into the cave past you. Running might, in fact, be a good idea. I mean, at least you've got Buck here. Buck isn't wounded at all, and can help you carry Wade and stuff.
Wonderful.
You go pelting into the darkness. People come showing up. Let's see which one's a good one. This one's. I'll just activate this one. We had this one
Whee!
before. I mean, it does.
Oh, sure
it has. Yep. It doesn't have a Wade, but I can make a Wade. I can have a Wade show up. Da-da, da-da. Okay. Where? There we go. Does the token say the right thing? Yes. Okay. It does not have everybody's hit point problems there, so you'll have to figure out what they were.
I'm still
Or
at
not.
4 when I double click on my character sheet, so.
Oh, good. It did not just.
And really, we should be using the ones in the sidebar anyway. Those don't change depending on the map.
True. It does look like everybody has the correct damages, so maybe it's actually tracking it for.
Oh, when GURPS got its update, preparing it for 12, that bug might have been fixed.
Ah, excellent. After a bit, you, along with Hosa, who is also doing fairly well, except for having a bird under one arm and can support people who are staggering, make it far enough away that you are not hearing the horrible noises in the force anymore.
Well, Hosa, you did discover how to make a fantastic sound.
Thank you. He sends lightsaber back to them.
How long have you wanted to do that?
Since I found he had a body.
Well, I'm glad you got what you wanted.
Indeed.
I admit, For a moment there, I thought I'd need to explain that, I didn't have a lightsaber.
Mm, dangerous anyway, with or without. You want bird? He holds the bird out, the unconscious bird out in both hands.
I'm afraid my answer must be not even the tiniest bit.
I don't believe he was offering it to you. Or to me, for that
Yes,
matter.
well,
Sort of offering to anyone who wants it, but yes, a bit more in Sen's direction than not.
He was way worse to you than he ever could have been to me. So, whatever you want to do with him, I figure he deserves it.
Mm,
Player thinks the worst thing he could
Bad.
do is let the bird go.
bad
Yep.
eating on this. Ask elders, I will. He sticks the bird under his arm again.
very well. Thank you for your assistance, Sosa. I think perhaps we will, well, call a cab. You may not want to be here when we do.
Palms reach far enough?
Oh, we'll find a way.
We usually do.
It was nice meeting you.
Indeed, very educational.
I can escort you to a land.
Ah, well, I think we're heading back to Rufu's house.
I will ensure you get there.
Well, then, thank you very much.
What Rand doesn't say is, don't worry, we'll just follow the path that is cleared of cacti.
That does make it a little bit easier to find which way you went. It really does.
It's a half-mile wide. You can't miss it.
Very well. I believe that we will simply work with not making subsequent rolls, and after all, you've got Hosa at the moment who has useful skills like survival, actually lives in this place. So,
And I'm busy carrying Wade. Again.
uh-huh.
And he's a lot heavier now.
Again, a lot heavier. It takes a while. It is going to be like at least, I think it's probably going to be past sundown by the time you get back, honestly. You're all rather the worst for wear in the hit point range.
Yeah.
I sit down, take off a boot, pour more sand out of the boot than can fit in the boot.
Mm-hmm. It's unclear where it was coming from. Maybe it's eldritch sand.
I will split my time between meditating and healing people.
You do have to pause to do that periodically then, which will still take a certain amount of time.
Oh, no, I mean, once we get there.
Well, by the time that you get back, there's actually a air car sitting there.
Oh.
With a droid. The droid is
Look, sir.
huddled in the driving seat and is looks extremely upset that there might be sand somewhere that might get on it.
It does get everywhere.
It does get everywhere. Hosa is invisible, so there's a quiet "and here I leave you, farewell." Thump.
I bow
And
in a
no
random
longer-
direction. That just might be the way we came.
Mm-hmm. The droid huddles in the air car seat.
Hello. I do believe that you are probably here waiting for us.
Yes. Imperial guests? Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
That's us.
Yes, yes, yes. And a +2.
They said 4. You have 5. You found someone else.
Yes. Gravely injured in the desert. Possibly got heat stroke. Too much sand.
Fit enough.
We'll squeeze.
Very good. The droid gingerly opens the door to get out and shuffle around and open all the other doors for everyone with the air of someone who is touching the sand. Oh no. And then with a bit of squeezing and possibly having an unconscious person lie across everyone. Yes, and some telekinesis made by 12. Very good.
I remove all the sand.
That wasn't. Mm-hmm.
Now, you might think I meant I remove all the sand from the droid. This is partially correct. But also I remove all the sand.
There's no sand in this air car.
Or
There
on
will
me.
be no sand.
Or in my boots. There is no sand on any person within a half-mile radius of here. I made my telekinesis other by 12 dag nabbit.
And that's still not a crit success.
It's still not a crit success. An aerial view just shows a ring, like the smoke clouds from the Wile E. Coyote cartoons, but it's made of sand. All of it going out.
This, you all get yourselves in, and the doors closed, and occasional seatbelts put on. The air car lifts up and flies off into the night. And I think that is probably where we should end it. And after I thank you all for playing. I thank everyone for listening. I do have a question for everyone after, because I do actually have a potential epilogue if you want to do that next time. But tonight we had Crash and Ellie and EO. And does anybody want to plug anything?
Who's going to say EO's mom writes books?
And what URL would that be at?
I don't know. I have nothing to do with
Elizabeth?
any websites.
Oh, of course not. I think it might be at elizabethmccoy.com. And if people like my GMing, honestly, I think I'm probably a better writer than I am a GM. So, yay. Ask your local library, buy it for yourself. It'd be real helpful for me. Then I can help my friends out when they need money. And speaking of friends and websites.
Well, if you like this podcast and want to hear more of them, you can find them all wherever good podcasts are found, which is a bit of a cop-out. So, more specifically, you can find them specifically at aaronbsmith.com/cogwheel, where there is an RSS feed dedicated to each individual campaign that we do, in addition to the one RSS feed to rule them all that you can find wherever good podcasts are found. You can also find us on the Fediverse. The show notes at every podcast at aaronbsmith.com/cogwheel include links to our information for that if you want to follow us individually, but also you can go to is.aaronbsmith.com/@cogwheel to follow the Cogwheel gaming feed that has announcements about what shows are out and occasionally out of context quotes that are,
Those are hilarious.
yes, may or may not have occasionally been used as the recap. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/cogwheelgaming, where you can help us keep the lights on as a car alarm goes off behind me. You can join other illustrious patrons, including Ellie, Shen, Walter, Patron Emeritus Cindy, and whoever's car that is.
And this is Beth saying good night, everyone. And most likely nothing is going to kill you in the morning. And there is perhaps some extremely annoyed swearing coming from a cave somewhere on a desert planet. Good night.
Good night.
And here's what you didn't hear. Yes, Captain, so glad you took a moment out of your schedule to talk to us before we leave. I was wondering if you would mind doing a teensy-weensy little orbital bombardment. Don't worry, I have the coordinates. They're very far away from anything that's HUD-controlled.
Oh, I was going to suggest that the Huts use... We test the Hut weapons that way.
Well, we want to mark the spot. How else will they have a target?
Good night.
Good night.